That pop-up disappeared. Hello. If anyone's out there, probably everyone's having their Christmas dinner, probably. Yeah, so I didn't have very much to do today. It's not Christmas on my own. So I thought I was planning to go and do a hike. But the weather is horrible and cold and windy. It's a very biting wind. It's only 5 degrees, but it's this sort of 25-mile-an-hour winds. It's kind of like, yeah. I was going to go into a local park if it was sunny, but I was going to go into a local park if it wasn't too horrible, and do some drawing, but no. I decided to keep it fairly simple. Let's have that up. But yeah, so I thought I'd talk about one of my. I have a rather festive sketch in one of my sketchbooks, which I was going to talk about, and yeah, just go through another sketchbook. So we'll see. I didn't fancy doing any artwork today, being Christmas Day, and it was not really my thing. So anyway. Yes, it's a slightly different angle. Slightly wider angle, which is a mess of what's going on in here, but anyway. Oh dear. Yeah, we don't want that. Yeah. You're taking pictures. I don't know if you can see me. Hello. But yeah, this is one of my sketches. That isn't one of my sketches. This is one of my sketches from a long time ago. It must be from Christmas a long time ago. I can't remember why I did this. I think that was a cheese. That was a Santa cheese. That was a sort of Santa-shaped cheese. That John got me. Santa hat cheese, and I decided to put money in it because, of course, Christmas. Yeah, it's all about commercialism. So yeah, that's ink and watercolor, and yes, a rather festive gnome. This originally wasn't coloured in, and then a friend of mine sort of went and did their own version, so I then went in and did the watercolour for it. It was just literally a drawing, and that's a gnome I've got in the window with a little disco ball, and that was like a Christmas bauble. It's kind of escaped. I don't know. One of them has escaped somewhere. It's fallen off the little thing where it is. I don't know where it's gone. And yeah, it's. It was it was a fun one. But yeah, it kind of sums up how I feel about the Christmas period, really. Though it isn't specifically Christmassy, but it's kind of Christmassy. It's kind of Christmassy. So yeah. And yes, another Christmas. John used to get me Lindor, which is these. And you can see, oh, it's got golden. Yeah. Don't know how I did that. Probably one of those gold pens. Now this is Lindor, which is a very expensive chocolate, and John used to get me, so I sort of drew it one year as a little exercise. Interestingly, I think I sketched it. I didn't usually do sketches. I don't usually use pencil. I usually use pen, but for some reason I did this in pen. So and then watercolor. Yeah, that's against toss. yeah, some life drawing work, ink and probably fountain pen. I've done that one. And then there's the that'll be brush pen and watercolor. That was a Christmas thing. I remember this, yeah, because it was like at the portrait sessions I used to go to. It was she was dressed up in sort of like red and green sort of tartan, but had a Christmas cracker in her hair, and yeah, so yeah, this is definitely from Christmas a few years ago. Yeah, it's not a bad sketch. It's always a bit random with brush pens. More life drawing work. This isn't really a sketchbook. It's more like one of my sort of watercolor books. Again, that is Christmas because John got me these. What's happening there? Don't know what's happening. Maybe that's probably rubbing onto that actually. That's annoying. Yeah, it is. Yeah, that should be fixed, but it's not. Yeah, that's Inktense. So this is Inktense. Oh. This is Inktense. This sort of sticks, and I would have usually fixed it, but it looks like I haven't fixed it, and it's rubbed off onto here, which is annoying. But yeah, these are little sort of chocolate. I think they were chocolate mice. John got me one year, the same year as the Lindor. So I then did a little thing, which was a reference to the mice, the frogs and the mice, which is a reference to. Unless those are chocolate frogs, but I think they're chocolate mice. Reference to Aristophanes. And so yeah, I quite like that one as an abstract. But yeah, I'm not happy about how it's rubbing off on here. I'll have to fix it. Let's see if I can rub that out. It should rub off, but yeah, it's not good that it's rubbing off onto the other page. I usually fix them with hairspray. I've got a little hairspray, but I've been spraying these, which are the lighters I mentioned in the sort of short video, and so the place stinks a bit. I don't really want to have more solvents running around. And the ducks, yeah. John got me quite a few, these two ducks in 2017, and sort of the other ones arrived. I had got them, or he got them, including the punk duck, and we got ducks for each other. That's here. Yeah, showing the mess of the place really. Again, I was very much into my Inktense blocks, little blocks. They're like crayons, like waxy crayons, but you can do watercolor with them, but they're kind of a bit like a crayon. You can do water with. They're very intense colors, but yeah, you have to fix them. Obviously, they rub off onto the other pages. Obviously, I want to fix this one and not the other one. Yeah, I don't know what that is. That's watercolor. Very fiery, abstract. Yeah, no one's around. Everyone's busy doing their Christmas stuff. It's probably a good reason I didn't do the Christmas hike, because that would have been fun if it's like streamed that and no one turned up and got all frozen. That would have been fun. Oh, try not to dox myself. Can you actually hear me? Yes, you can hear me. Good. So yeah, let's go through this and then I will. Yeah, Christmas has been weird this year. It's been the first Christmas in the flat without John. Last year I ran away to Gran Canaria, and yeah, I didn't really want to be in the flat because of the memories here. And then this year it's been like, hey, you know, I'll stay here because you can't run. I can't afford to go on holiday every year. I can't afford to go on holiday at all, really. I couldn't really afford back then. I just did it. Maxed out my credit card. You know, and it was silly, but yeah, I was never a fan of Christmas anyway. Seagulls. Christmas has always been a weird time for me anyway, because my family, it was a war zone with my family. You know, and with John I made sort of happier Christmas memories, and now it's kind of back to what it was before. But yeah, it was always aggro at Christmas from my half-sisters and my mother. It's weird because Christmas is supposed to be the time where you enjoy yourself and do, you know, and kind of like as a kid, you know, obviously as an adult it's a bit different, but as a kid you're supposed to enjoy yourself and do kind of like, you know, it's supposed to be the best time of year for kids. Not for me. It was just too much too much grief. And then when my parents got divorced, it got even worse because then they constantly argued about, you know, we're getting all this crap about, oh, you should spend Christmas with me, oh, you know, and my childhood was very much about me being ignored and railroaded, basically, and you know, not listened to, and it was. So Christmases have a lot of bad memories for me, and then John came along, and it was like, yay, good memories, and he did. You know, we used to go away regularly, and there were some happy memories with him. And it's just kind of like, now it's back to what it was before, and now it's got extra bad memories. Hey, yeah, well, not bad memories, but you know, sad memories. So yeah, if anyone's out alone out there, yeah, I know what it feels like. I'm with you on that one. It's like everyone's running around wishing each other. Oh, hello. Nice drawings. Hello, Bern. Camp like a Bern. Hello. He's in Belgium. I don't know what Christmas it's like in Belgium. But yeah, so this is another sketchbook. This is this is ink and white pen. This is near me. This is on the river, and yeah. Maybe I shouldn't be showing pictures of barges, and since what's happened. What's happened in up in Shropshire? Well, yeah, the canal just burst just a few days before Christmas, and yeah, so it's a sore point for some people probably. This is an abstract for that is definitely a flex pen abstract. I probably said actually. Ever said on it? Oh, the Aiken Lambert. Wow, 2021. 15 of February 2021. I heard about the canal. Yeah, it's this crazy story. The Whitchurch, and I used to live not too far from Whitchurch. Right, it's kind of more north, but I used to live south of there, in Muchwenlock, and so my parents had a cottage, and I lived there for a while after the divorce. And so that area I know of Whitchurch, and it was mad pictures of these, like this massive crater, and then these boats at the bottom of the crater. So yeah, so that's along the river, and more sort of ink and pen work. That is, I think, probably Richmond Park, and more portraits work. All portraits work. This is Charlie and Maria. Charlie works at the, or I don't know if he still does, but he worked at the pub who did the portrait drawing, so quite often got commandeered into sitting. It's a good subject though. One of the, I don't know if I think I showed it. I showed a paint stick, an 8-3 paint stick of these two kissing. I think it was probably Valentine's Day, I don't know. I think it was. Hence his girlfriend. It's along the river. But yeah, Christmas is a weird one for me. Yeah, I'm not a fan. It's so funny, as I say, you as a kid you're supposed to be all about Christmas, but I would have happily forego all the presents if I. That's a remarkable head. She came with a massive headdress on that one. I would have foregone all the presents if I just didn't have to socialise with my parents and the dysfunctional family. I would have been happier, a lot happier. I started drawing this in the V&A, and they had to go at me because apparently you can't use pens in V&A. So yeah, I only got to do this, and then suddenly I was told to leave. And I got quite angry because the way they approached me, it was very, very rude and very, and it was just like, it wasn't, yeah, it was weird. You can only draw with pencils, apparently, not even charcoal. And I don't work in pencils usually, so I was like, well, I'm not draw there then. There's a lot of, I think these are probably winter drawings. More Adam. Yeah, I think the pen wasn't working so well on that one. I love drawing forts. I love these forts. They're in the woods. People make these forts. I quite often draw them. Well, I used to draw them. Coos in the field, just drawing them live. What does it say? Oh, Box Hill. This is Box Hill. And along the river. I'm pretty sure that's not Kingston Bridge. That's Richmond. Yeah, I remember that. That's the moon, and that is Graffitant and ink, and that is it is not Richmond Park, but it's the north of Bushy Park. More portraits. That is a very strange temple-like place, which is actually from the 1930s, and I can't remember which park that's in. Oh, it says. Oh, I know. Canizaro, which is near Wimbledon, sort of Putney area, Putney, Wimbledon. They all look very nice, thank you. Yeah, this is Canizaro. Canizaro Park is an amazing park. It's a public park, but a lot of people don't know about it, and it's kind of near Putney Heath and that sort of direction. And it's obviously a park from an old. The house is still there, unusually, but there's sort of all this random stuff in the woods, and it is. Yeah, this is from the 1930s. More forts. I did like drawing my forts back then, 2021. I'm not sure why the balloons, but remember this. Mason, a very alternative looking person with bleach blonde hair. And a candle. Balloons in a candle. I'm not sure why. Yeah, that's Spanker's Hill. That's Richmond Park. Is that Temple in the Park a good stealth camping spot? It's probably a bit too public. There are Canizaro Park. You possibly could get away with it. There is kind of like a wilderness school type that I'm still running that was in there. And it is a bit of a formal park, but there are kind of wild bits, so we probably could get away with it. But I've got a feeling they lock the park, so it might be a bit fun. I don't think it stays open at night, unlike Putney Heath. Putney Heath you could, definitely, but that's a bit away from the little birdie. As always, little birdies arrive. I don't put them in. They're not like little happy trees and Bob Ross. That bird arrived while I was drawing this, and so I put him in. Not her. Put them in. And yeah, I did a lot of bird studies around this time. Canada geese, though they're not really Canada geese because they don't go home anymore. They're sort of expat Canada geese. Swans. Always fascinated by swans when they're preening. But yeah, I do like drawing geese. And again, cranes. Of course, we love our cranes. Cranes in the sky. And do you often draw animals like the cows and birds you draw? Yeah, I quite often draw. Yeah, not obviously not recently, but yeah, back then especially birds. I would do studies of them. There's a real skill to kind of drawing live animals because you have to be quick, and I was always practicing that. And one of my first ever dip pen drawings was of geese, and they were actually quite stationary geese. They were sort of feeding around me, but they were being quite sort of chill. So I never had massive problems with geese, weirdly. Sometimes, in one camp I had problems with geese being noisy all night, but yeah, generally they were quite good. But yeah, no, I quite like drawing animals. Not massively. I didn't do it a massive amount, but a fair amount. And paint stick. Wow, you can really feel it. This is why I use heavy duty paper, because I really scratch into this. I don't know if you can see that. But it's yeah. I think it's because it's a sketchbook one. I use the neons. You shouldn't use the neons if you want it to be light fast, but I didn't mind so much in sketchbooks because they were less they're not exposed. Someone right in the corner. Yeah, daffodils. So that would have been sort of spring of that year. That's along the river. Again, I think that's watercolour. It could be graphitin, but I think it's watercolour. Watercolour and fountain pen. Again, that's along the river near me. I don't know what type of tree it is. It's a very Japanese tree. It droops down. Oh, that's Richmond Park. That's I think. Yeah, it is Richmond. Deer. That's the other animal I like to draw a lot is deer. Although I'm not sure this is a great deer. They kind of look a bit like cows. They're not the best deer, but yeah, deer is the other one that quite often they would wander in, and birds would wander into my drawings, and I put them in there. These are definitely graphitint. Actually, that might be watercolor. I think that's graphitint and ink. And yeah, benches appear a lot. This is Canberra Gardens, which is just near Kingston. You can see there's a railway bridge there. A lonely bottle of beer. Let's be testing various inks. Yeah, and that's the near me. That's the filter beds. They were sort of ripping them apart and sort of, yeah, had a digger in there. I like the colour drawings as well. You do have talent. Thank you. I need to get out and do more, and do more. I was planning to do that today, but we have a really, really high wind, or not really high winds, sort of 25, 29 miles an hour. And it's really cold. It's like 5 degrees. We have a cold snap at the moment. I'm glad I didn't go camping. I was thinking of going camping. That should be the right way around. I was thinking of going camping over Christmas. I'm 50-50 whether I should have, but given the weather, the real cold snap over, because up to Christmas it's been quite warm for the year. It's like 10, 12 at night, 9 degrees, not too bad. And then suddenly over Christmas it's really dipped and gone kind of very cold. And so I'm glad I didn't go camping, but I was really tempted to go hiking over Christmas. This is the filter beds again. And one of the ideas was to go out and draw today and do a live stream from the local park. And it was sunny, but given the weather, the cold, the bitterly cold, I was out there yesterday, just going to the shop, and I was freezing because it's 5 degrees, but then the wind chill is way higher. So it's like it gets to 0, I think, with the wind chill. It's getting colder the next few days, and even snow around New Year, says Boone. Yeah. I think they were saying it wasn't going to be a white Christmas here, but the southwest is really cold. This is the daughter of the one of the daughters of the person who runs Liz, who runs the pub that I did the portraits at. That's her other daughter, Phoebe. But yeah. More flowers. I was going to a flower kick at that time. This is graphitint as well. Yes, lots of flowers. And those are abstracts, watercolours. The Frosty Swan. Not seen that boat recently, but yeah, it's called the Frosty Swan. But interestingly, they turn the frosty S's into little swan shapes, and then they had this plastic greenery on it. Again, I think that's watercolour, but I think that'll be graphitint. That is Kingston Bridge. I did some studies at Kingston Bridge. More along the river. It's that way around, yeah. And yes, not usual to do a portrait session with a dog, but that was a dog. It was like a fox though, but it was a dog. Yeah. Very, very well behaved dog. Dog was a very good posing. Dog posed really beautifully. Better than some of the human subjects, actually. The dog stayed very still. That's cricket up on Bushy Park. There's a cricket ground on the edge of Bushy Park. How's that? More, I think that's probably Bushy Park again. More paint stick work. I loved working with paint stick. It's kind of, they're very thick and chunky and quite difficult to do, especially on a small piece of paper. They're not ideal. You should really do something really large because they're so kind of, the line's so thick. But that's why I'd scratch into them to sort of like reduce them and get some more detail. But I really enjoyed using them, and yeah, I've got a whole load of them, so I might do something with that in the field at some point. More with that dog. It was like I don't know what kind of dog it was. It was like almost like a chihuahua, but it's like a fox-looking chihuahua. I don't know. Yeah, at this stage I was doing a lot of flower work. I'm not sure why. That's apple blossom in our garden, I think. Is that where I think that's right around. Shiny, shiny. I've got to go. Really like the drawings you showed. I noticed the star you have with much character. Have a good one, my friend. Yeah, thanks for coming. It's good to see you. Have a good Christmas. Yeah, more portrait work. Oh, I like this one. Lots of, well, probably more than lots on the other side. Oh dear. But yeah, I love this one. You can see the scratchings on the other side coming through. But yeah, boats on the river at dusk. And then I did this. Yeah. Wow. That is really inscribed. Wish I hadn't done that on the other side of that one, but yeah. I really scratched into that. It's kind of Christmassy in a way. It's not Christmas. It wasn't done at Christmas. It's a bit like baubles or presents. And more on the river with paint sticks. Yeah, mood. So you can get detail with it and layer things. And the nice thing about it is it does dry very. It doesn't rub off into other pages or anything like that. Can do if you do it really thickly. Usually it's kind of pretty, but it does dilute with water. Yeah, mood. Just a guy in the river, and again, I drew him sitting there. He was just sitting in front of me when on the river. He didn't know I was drawing him, and then the bird came along. Boat studies. Yep. There is like a dinghy club near me who does a lot of sailing. Usually, I think it's Wednesday nights. They usually do it, and on summertimes they used to just draw them. Sort of, so they just constantly tacking it up and down the river. So they're kind of like they go across the river, and it's not very wide. It's sort of wide the river away, but it's not massively wide. So they'd be constantly tacking. So I'd only have like 10, 15 seconds to draw it. There's the lightnings. I think there are some. Yeah, those are the lightnings. Which is a type of dinghy. Don't know what the N ones are. And more lightnings. Yeah, they have wayfarers as well, and merlins, which is what my dad used to sell. I mentioned before, when I was two, going sailing on Lake Windermere or somewhere. So how long has that been? Oh, well, I haven't talked about the other piece, which is not mine, but this was given to me. This is from my godson's brother. Zachary did this. I think he had help because he's only 6. But yeah, I really love this. This was my Christmas present from. There was several Christmas presents. There was a T-shirt, and this is all part of my Christmas presents from my godson, his brother, and their mother, and it's really cool. I love this. It's sort of pride of place. I've just brought it down, but it's been sort of displayed, and yeah, it's sort of spray, and I assume this little thing was masked out as like a moon. I think apparently it's supposed to be a moon. It's like a pink sky. I really love this. It's really nice. And I've been doing, as I said before, I've been doing some spraying for these for the I mean, I showed this in the video, but I've done the other one pink as well. So they are sort of easy to find in the dark. That one's a better one actually, the two. But yeah, so I can just find these when I'm camping. Yeah, I love this. So cool. You have signed it though. I'm not sure it's good at signatures at 6. But yeah, beautiful. I haven't got many. I've got a few pieces of art here. I never used to really collect. You know, I didn't collect art from my friends so much because I was always asked you like, well, I could just do it myself, I suppose. But you know, I've got a few bits. There's a few things that John bought. There's my stuff, and there's a few bits. A very rude piece of work, which is apparently Indian, which Richard, John's friend, John gave to Richard, and Richard gave back to me. So that's over there. But yeah, it's quite rude. It's very much against. Well, it's an Indian. Yeah, it's an Indian sort of tantric type thing. It's a bit rude. Probably will get into trouble by showing that. But yes. How long has it been? Try not to. It's been 37 minutes. I don't know. I mean, is there much else to talk about? If I was going to do an art piece, I would do that. I don't know. So I hope you're having a good Christmas. It's a bit quiet here. I haven't started doing my Christmas dinner yet. I probably should in a bit, but I'm not actually hungry. I only had breakfast a while ago. I got up late. Tomorrow I'm going to a friend's for Boxing Day, so I couldn't be too late today because I'm going to have to get up in the morning and try and get the buses. That might be fun. Getting buses from wherever because in the UK we don't actually have trains stop running for 2 days. Buses are not running today. Nothing's running today. And then Boxing Day, I think buses and tubes are running, so it's going to be fun to try and get there. But it should be good to actually go and have a meal. I've got a roast to do in the air fryer, and some potatoes and some pigs in blankets. I've never actually done a joint in the air fryer, so that's going to be fun. It's always a challenge at Christmas. So yeah, that's what I'll be doing later. At the moment, I'm not. I'm trying to get up the courage to start doing that and do the potatoes and stuff. But yeah, and that's probably it for Christmas. I thought I mean to do a stream for ages, but I've just been so busy with editing and Christmas stuff. It's just been like, all the Christmas stuff, shopping, getting presents. I got some, seeing people do it. It's been lots of stuff, and then I've been doing a lot of editing. So, and yeah, this time of year is not ever that good for me anyway. So hence there was a massive gap. I didn't realize how big it was. It was like several weeks, and my channel was not good. It wasn't good to be. It's amazing how just being away for a couple of weeks, the channel just all. I started losing subs, and then lost a few subs, and then the watch hours went way down, and I was like, wow, I can't even spend a week or two away. But what I was doing was putting the members videos up, and so the Scotland series is finished for members, and the 5th or 12th part has just gone up publicly, and the final part is going to be up probably in the new year. And I've got a tent review video which I've finished. So I've been doing stuff like that, editing, and it's a mixture of editing and making sure I haven't starved at Christmas, and doing presents and cards and lots of other things. So yeah, that's why I just needed to have all the time away, because I did a lot of work in a short period. Because I was planning to be away, that was the reason. I was like, and then like the middle of December, I was like, I've done enough. Well, so early December, I was like, I'm going to go away, and I'll just get the Scotland stuff done for members, and then that's it. But it turned out I decided to stay here because a friend is, as I say, we're going to have a meal tomorrow. So I was like, I'll stay then. I still don't know whether I should have gone hiking. I think given the weather, I'm glad I didn't. But I mean, it's not bad weather in terms of wet. It's just cold, really, really cold, bitterly cold. That would not have been fun to be camping out in there. But more the wind, actually. The wind is the problem, because if it's cold but not windy, it's fine. But when it's actually that windy, you have to try and find somewhere sheltered, and that restricts where you can camp, and then you have an issue with the wind whistling through, so you have to be careful. But anyway, I hope you all have a good Christmas and New Year, and I will see you in the New Year. And I say I plan to do more streams. It's an issue of what I can do here, like drawing wise. I don't think anyone's really interested in the abstracts anyway. I could do more abstracts, but I think people are like, what, they want the representational stuff. But I'm just like, there's a limit to what I can draw in here. Not many subjects here. It's like I've done self-portraits. I've done, a lot of the stuff I've got here that's actually anyway interesting. There's a few things that I could do, but I'm kind of waiting for the better weather, because it would be nicer to do streams out and drawing of a sort of summer evening as soon as the clocks go forward. It'll be a lot easier to do that kind of stuff, whereas like now at the moment it's a bit it's possible, as I was planning to do today, but not when it's blowing a gale. You can't start drawing when it's blowing a gale. So anyway, I hope you're well. I'll speak to you soon.